Right, Trip. That was a couple of good sessions. I felt, I thought you did a really good job. In this one, I'm really just going to kind of review the work you did and some of the things that we see based on some of the exercises you've done. I'm also going to pop up a couple of videos I took outside. You can see the big change here really is the fact that the hand position, from the back of the golf ball now, you're definitely not in a situation where your hands are well behind it. Now, that's helped us to kind of really start to understand what this ball striker's grip is like, with the club sitting a little more through the fingers of the left hand, and certainly that right thumb sitting more down and on top, creating much more load through this joint and a little bit more load through this joint. So we'll see that as we start the golf swing back, even though it's not like something you were necessarily really trying to feel. Was you're starting to really kind of load the club back a little bit more, and as you move back into this kind of, let's say this halfway back position right here, you can see the left shoulder is loaded a lot more downwards. We got a lot more angle here to the golf club, really in a position of strength now, rather than here where it was kind of, let's say it was all bone and sinew. The left arm looks as if it's kind of doing all the stretching, the left shoulder looks a little bit high, the club is certainly a little bit low there. And as we work you on up to the top of your backswing, we could see this was kind of all lift and not load, if that makes sense. Whereas here we've got it loaded up a little bit better. Now, of course, we know the shoulders aren't exactly rotating, completely freely yet, because we can still see, a little bit of an issue with the club face. Now, it's gotten better. But it's still a little bit loose, and it's a little bit long through here. But there's definitely a lot of good things happening here. When we work back to our face-on angle, we could see that where before we were kind of just standing, steepening, and throwing all the energy away. Now we're starting to see you load the club down just a little bit. You can see a little bit of a throw in transition. We talked about that, but certainly coming in towards the impact area, it's gotten an awful lot tidier and an awful lot better. Now, what we will want to see, and as time goes on, as we talked about, is that rather than we having this sort of steepening of the club in the transition area, we're going to want to see a little bit more of a shallowing of the club in transition, which is hopefully going to get you, working into a kind of a delivery position here where the shaft of the club is a little bit more on top of your right arm, rather than, let's say, kind of between your arms, if that makes sense. So here we could see your delivery coming in, kind of this area here, where the shaft is kind of steep and the face is a little bit closed. And as we see that, we'll start to be able to then, turn the corner a little bit better. But you did a terrific job. It was lovely to work with you. Let's stay in touch, and hope the family are all good, and we'll see you again soon.